Welcome to another continuing conversations where we play through Star Trek Adventures 2E. I'm telling you right now, we are moving into Act 3 of Star Trek Challenger, the episode called U.S.S. Tranquil. Again, as I mentioned before, this is pulled straight from the Trade Ledger's mission briefs, which is free to download at modiphius.com. And so you can follow along with that and see how I expand that story with these amazing group of players, which includes Jim Johnson, Meric Moir, BC Holmes, and Al Spader. If you're wondering where we're at, I'm not going to repeat the whole story. You can actually go back and watch episode one, or Act 1 and Act 2 from the previous 2 weeks because we are in the thick of it coming to Act 3, which is how any good story should go. Things now will be going downhill. Can the heroes survive? We shall see. All right, so when last we left our heroes, we had Lieutenant Commander Burke Van Jaxa and Dr. Vorel, who are both under disguise as passengers on the SS Tranquil, coming out of a tour of engineering. The cover was blown, though, when all of a sudden, from across the corridor outside engineering, which again is a public pleasure ship type of place, we all heard the voice come out, Lieutenant Commander Burke Van Jaxa, what are you doing here? I thought you were stationed on the U.S.S. Challenger. And as the crowd parts because of the loud, boisterous voice of a fellow Tellarite, who else does Van Jaxa see across the way but Talik Jav Nalanid, his old buddy from the academy? What do you do?
I roll with it. I say, Talik, you always get me and my cousin mixed up. No, it's Chas Bavkrell.
Okay, now we're gonna have to do an opposed task on this one to see if you have any kind of confusion. I gotta make it hard on you, so I'm gonna spin one of my 3 threat. I'm gonna be down to 2 threat, and I'm gonna go ahead and roll and see what the difficulty is to try to fool this guy. He's a standard character. He's an NPC minor, so 9 is his target number. We'll see how that does. Rolled only a 3, so difficulty 1, and you're gonna keep him boggled if you can succeed with a difficulty 1. I'm going to say this isn't presence at this point. No,
okay.
I'm going to have to say this is daring because you're daring to try to lie to someone you went to the academy with.
That's
and
true.
This is going to be daring and command. Yeah, difficulty 1.
Okay.
Because you got to make a command performance to pass this off.
I'd love to spend one of our 3 momentum if people are cool with that. Okay.
Everyone's kind of desperate for you to succeed.
Yeah. All right. Okay. We're gonna switch out for the gold command dice to be era appropriate. Yeah. Okay. Here we go. We got.
Complication.
Nope. We got 5, 10, 15, and my target number was 10, so that is 2 successes.
This is where, as a game master, I hate it. Okay. So what did you say your name was again? I need to write that down.
I said Chas Bavkrell, which is the alias that I'm under as a sculptor.
Josh Bavkrell, you are like a spitting image of Burke Van Jaxa. Are you joking?
Well, they always said that our parents got a little mixed up, but that's just family drama. And I go over and give him a big hug.
Well, any cousin of Burke Van Jaxa is a friend of mine. Allow me to take you for a drink.
It would be a gift to see an old friend of Burke's.
Okay, Dr. Varel, you're watching this go on, standing a distance away a little bit. What are you doing?
Well, I know we've got something else to do other than get a drink, so I'm going to reach into a pouch that I'm carrying and hand out on paper a flyer, and I'm going to try to hand it to Talak and say, would you like to join us later for a little meeting? And on that piece of paper is It's an invite to the nightly meeting of the Army of Light.
He looks at it, he rips it up. Religion. I don't have time for that crap. Go on, let's go get ourselves slogged on some Roctagino. No, that's not alcoholic, is it? That's not
No, that's
alcoholic.
coffee.
I brought a little Romulan ale on board. Let's get us slagged on some Romulan ale.
Okay, I need to get away from this situation. I'll say, Romulan ale? I have better drinks back in my quarters. You meet me in the mess hall, I'll bring you some Klingon blood wine.
Wow, the back and forth. I'll go with you to your quarters. Let's go.
Oh my god. Okay, yeah.
Should we cut scene?
We'll cut scene. We'll let him come to my quarters, and then I'll be like, "Shut up, man."
Okay, Dr. Farrell. While he's getting dragged away, what do you do?
I'm gonna follow and go to my room, which is nearby, and grab some sedatives.
Interesting. And then you're gonna go back and meet in that room?
Yes.
Oh, I like this. Okay, very good. All right. And as that happens, I'm actually going to spend my 2 threat that I have, and I'm going to put security suspicious, but it's a minor suspicious. So type that in. So as you all walk away, there's always that one, like in Star Wars, they always have that one person who's in the corner kind of like looking. There's one very clean-cut officer who kind of sees it, thinks a little bit, and then turns away going down the other corridor. So that hubbub got noticed a little bit. As you can imagine, there are parts of the corridor of these public areas of the ship that are under surveillance and stuff like that. So this is security suspicious, which may add some difficulties to some future actions. Okay?
All right.
Cutting back scene, the captain under her guise as Melisa Pell, and Kenan under his guise as well as Baco of Betazoid royalty have now drifted. You were escorted off the bridge. Yeah, Pell said, "Leave me alone. I'm okay." Do you two, as you kind of interface and start heading back into the cruise ship activities, talk at all, or what do you do at this point?
I think after being what did you call the hands last time? The guiding hands.
Guiding hands.
Yeah. After we were guiding hands led off the bridge and back into the corridors and stuff, I think I will gallantly volunteer to, or I will gallantly offer to escort the Commodore. I mean, using her alias though. What was it?
Pell. Elisa Pell.
Pell. Yeah, I will gallantly offer to escort her back to her quarters so that she can get some rest.
Okay. As you are as you're heading back to the quarters, you have to pass under that big bubble of the U.S.S. Tranquil, which allows you to see the stars. I noticed that both of you have a history in astronavigation somewhat, right? Am I correct in saying that? Helm operations.
Subspace pathways, maybe?
Well,
I'm
yeah.
a communications officer, not Helm.
I have Helm
Oh,
operations.
your communications. Yeah, you have Helm operations and subspace pathways. Okay, very good. So I want you starting with Commodore Zen, and you're going to be able to do an assist on this, okay, in Centenin. But I want you to give me a reason plus con, and this is difficulty 2.
Reason con, difficulty 2.
And
you are able to, and you're allowed to use Helm operations, and your assist will also be reason plus con.
Okay.
And I'd like to suggest doing another
I'm guessing
Momentum?
subspace pathways works. My definition of subspace pathways. We'll see if it's the same as yours, and we'll see. But go ahead. What were you saying, BC?
Momentum? I'm going to use the momentum for additional die.
Okay, got it. So we're down to 1 momentum, right?
I think we've got 2 now.
That was
Unless we
so-
cut scene. Did we cut scene?
So we'll be down to 1.
Down to
Right.
1. Okay.
Yeah.
okay, so good news. 15.
Actually,
is
hold on. I'm
not-
sorry. Sorry. We did cut scenes, so we actually didn't have any because we had 1 and we're down to 0. So are you spending
Oh.
threat then?
Uh,
You giving me a threat? I have 0
I
threat
guess
right
I have
now.
to. I've already rolled.
All right. So I have 1 threat now.
But that changes things because I realized I hadn't been using my patient species ability, which is a sad thing. Okay, so good news. I managed to generate 3 successes out of this. I got
Okay.
a 1, 5, and a 15. The 15 doesn't do me anything, but the 1 and 5 are good.
Very good.
I rolled
So
a 6 on my assist, so that's 1 additional success.
Very
Cool.
good. So that gives you 2 momentum on this. As you're both walking, you notice something. So picture looking up, and you notice you guys are traveling like warp 6.5, heading toward Isa 5. You know, that's where your next stop is to go see those amazing geological formations. But both of you have enough starship experience, especially between navigation, helm, and even subspace. I'm guessing this is how it works. I would actually need more definition on what subspace pathways means. But you actually notice the stars shift all of a sudden, as if you've changed course. Because you're able to see through the big bubble of these SS Tranquil. So as you're walking on the pool deck there, you have enough experience as Starfleet officers to know you just made a rapid course correction.
You seeing what I'm seeing, Ensign?
Yes. I'm concerned.
I can't help but wonder if this means we're planning if we're going to do an unplanned interception with somebody, possibly to.
Are we in a place that we're alone?
Yeah, there's so many people you can be considered alone. You know how that works.
You're right.
Okay.
I should
You're on a
You know.
pool deck, you know.
caution.
I will quickly bring the Commodore up to speed on what I found, specifically about the redundant warp particle energy shield that is apparently being, is present on the ship, and then I'll also mention the fact that apparently the crew is sensitive to Betazoid empathy and telepathy to some degree because they were able to notice that I was attempting to get some surface readings on the people on the bridge.
I also
And
noticed
the captain and the first officer specifically called me out.
Did the
So I'm a little
captain?
nervous about that.
The captain side-eyed you. They didn't call you out, but they side-eyed you.
The captain side-eyed me. The first officer clearly had some words. And Commodore, you should also be aware that I am unable to read the captain at all. He's either shielded from telepathy or empathy, or is of a species that is just naturally resistant to those types of esoteric abilities.
one other piece.
You also had well, before you go, you also had one other piece of obtained information about the shield technology.
The shield technology.
The Academy.
I downloaded the information and I sent it to Venjaxa.
And the Academy, who introduced you to that technology in the first place?
Oh, shit! I didn't write that down.
Uh,
Somebody.
very
It was a. Who was it?
At Delton.
A Delton, right? A Delton at the Academy talked about the theoretical nature of being able to do it, and now we're seeing it in actual usage. Yeah.
I also
Alright.
briefly
Copy.
observed that they appear to use a segmented computer core. They have 2 distinct computer cores with possibly an intermediary pass-through through which they can share information. Obviously, this ship is trying to keep a lot of information very segmented and away from prying eyes.
Yeah, absolutely. Michael, a question. Given the fact that the bridge is completely isolated from the rest of the ship, is there any insight I guess I can glean from, given what little time I had with the computer, is it conceivable that the bridge could separate from the rest of the ship as almost like a separate vessel?
No, that is not the case at all.
Okay. It's just locked off from the rest of the ship. Okay. Got it.
Good question.
So Commodore, what should we do next? I feel like we should touch base with the rest of the team.
I agree. Let's let's use one
Where
of
do
our-
you meet up? Where do you meet up at? Where you can all meet up at?
I don't know. Is there some saunas or something?
If
like
you're
that?
writing this show, where would you all meet up at?
Let's do the sauna.
Remember, we have Nalanid following Jaxa to his quarters, and Viral also heading there too. So does this happen in Jaxa's guest quarters, where this anomalous person is? Are you heading that direction? Like,
I think that we've probably pre-established a handful of places around the ship. So there's probably like, meetup place number 1 was probably the place where we had tea the other day. Meetup place number 2 might be, on a relatively isolated deck somewhere, observation deck.
Yeah, I'm gonna drop into the chat for everyone to see, for all of you, because I think I had added this before. Let me go ahead and put up my Discord general chat without messing up my video here. And I'm gonna go ahead and drop into our general chat there the different areas of the ship that kind of are available, so you can take a look at. So take a look at this. I'll read through it real quick. So some of the areas were zero gravity swimming pools, your quarters, gambling casino, alien cuisine, the restaurant promenade. We already talked about spacewalks. Virtual simulator adventures. This is way before holodecks. We call them virtual simulators. Galactic shopping arcades, spa and wellness center where you've been. Live entertainment shows, of course. So there's theaters, astronomy workshops and labs. We did the tour of the bridge and the engine room tour. So those are some of the main areas of the ship besides your quarters. So you can select from there where you want people to meet up.
Is there something like a tennis court or something like that we could
Sure
go to? It's like, it's something where it makes sense for 4 people to go to. Probably has like a door we can close.
Sure.
Like squash or one of those weird games that we see in the
game that
how do you spring ball, there we go. How do we summon how do you summon them, Captain? I need to know how you're going to summon them, because right now they're kind of occupied, the other two.
So I'm going to suggest that maybe there's a setting on our tricorder that we can just like drop in location 3 or something like that. And
okay. So let's cut scene. Should we go to Viral first? What are you doing, Dr. Viral?
Yeah, so I'm gonna go to my room and go back to that med kit and get my sedative hypo spray ready. I'm hoping that I don't have to use it, but logic would dictate that it's good to have a failsafe because clearly something bad is happening and we need to stop it. So that is the plan.
And thank you, Jim, for catching that cut scene, which takes us 1 moment. So, do you want to try to roll an advantage at this point with that? Why don't you go ahead and do another reason plus medicine for me? I think this is difficulty 1.
Okay. That's a 7 and a 2, so 3 successes.
Oh, wow. That takes you back up to 3 momentum now in the pool at this point. So you do have your medicine ready to go. We're going to cut scene, of course, which means we now have 2 momentum in the pool. So now let's go back to Jaxa and Nalanid. And Jaxa, okay, he's really looking at you now. He's looking at your face. I mean, he's almost touching your face and your beard. Like, no.
Establishing question. Was this like a close friend? Was this somebody that I would trust?
I mean, he graduated the academy with you.
Okay. He graduated. No, He graduated Starfleet Academy, or was this back on Tellarite? Like he was a
Starfleet Academy.
Starfleet Academy? Okay. Excellent.
Yeah.
So, do I outrank him?
Ooh, this is a great question for the solo, the
Yeah.
captain's log. 1 through 10, yes. 11 through 20, no. He outranks you. So let's take a look. He outranks you.
Oh! Okay. He outranks me. Is he a commander or is he a captain?
You're a lieutenant commander, right?
Yeah.
So he's a commander.
He's a commander? Okay. I'll say
Yeah, he's a science officer. He's a science officer.
so as the door to the quarters closes, I'll turn to him and I'll say, Commander, you are involving yourself in a mission of utmost security. You need to back off. I'm so sorry, but I cannot disclose any more of what is happening at this moment.
So you are Raxa?
I can neither confirm nor deny that at this point. Please go and have a great drink, and we will talk about this maybe the next time we're on station together.
You know. You can trust me. I'm now in it. And I outrank you. Tell me what's going on.
I'll say, I have direct orders from my commanding officer not to disclose. Sir.
Well, they're not here, and we're drinking. So I'm telling you, I need to know what's going on. There's several other Starfleet officers aboard. I saw some people from the Enterprise. They won't shut up about it. And are they in on this too? Are you working with the Enterprise crew?
One of my values is speak your mind. And so
Okay.
I'm going to tell him, respectfully, Commander, you've put me in a terrible position, and I have loyalty to my commanding officer. I cannot tell you what is happening.
So would this be challenging your value that gives you an additional determination?
I think I'm living up to the value. I'm not challenging it.
Got it.
I think
So what
that-
I'm going to need you to do then, you're going to create the opposed task to see if he backs down. So now you're rolling the difficulty for him. And if he succeeds against your difficulty, then he's
I'll
not
have
letting
to
up
give
at
in,
this point.
yeah.
Right. So this is going to be this is going to have to be a presence plus security.
Okay. All right, so a presence security for me is a 13 target number, and I got a 5 and a 13, so difficulty 2.
Okay. So let's see. He's rolling. He's 9, of course, because he's an NPC. So let's see if he can get 2 successes. 9 and 17. Nope. Okay, so you talk. Tell me the word. He gives you a look.
And I
Known
say,
each other a long time.
we've known each other a long time, but we have both grown much in that time. And Starfleet has to come before our friendship. Respectfully.
All right. I'll back up. But I'm telling you right now, if anything goes down and I see some shooting, I got your back. You know that, right?
You'll be the first person I call. We'll headbutt each other.
All right. And as he is about to walk out, he's like, I'll leave you to your mission. The door slides open, and all 3 of the other characters are there standing like, wait, no, you weren't meeting there. Never mind. You said you weren't meeting there. You're meeting in the fitness center. Okay. You had a question? We're all standing there.
Got the hypospray.
With the hypospray. Ready to
What's
sedate.
this all about?
Taken care of, Commander.
Okay. Put that down in my little satchel.
And that's when you get the beep from the captain saying to meet in the, what was the game again?
Spring ball.
Jim?
Spring
Ball
ball.
court.
Yeah, spring ball.
All right. So you're heading toward the spring ball court. All right.
Yeah.
On the way, have a little discussion with the engineer here. So this warp field shielding, what would happen if a bomb were to detonate within? That magnify the damage? Is this shielding part of a weapon?
I need you to roll a reason plus science on this one, actually, with warp theory applying. And this will be difficulty 1 because of your knowledge with the schematics.
Okay.
Actually, no, I have to correct it. It actually has to be difficulty 2 because you actually don't have the same knowledge as Tenon yet. It's difficulty 2, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And we've got warp drive, focus applying. My science is only 2, so we're not gonna get to... Oh, sorry, you said reason science?
Reason and science. Yeah.
Oh, that makes it work. Okay, then I do in fact get 2 successes with a 4 and a 12.
4 and a 12. Okay, good. And we're at 2. Are we agreeing we're at 1 threat and 2 momentum right now? Is that where we're at?
That's what I
Yeah.
got.
Okay. Good. All right. So this type of warp field is not so much about providing a force field from damage. This type of warp field is more about obscuring sensors.
So we think that this ship might be a delivery method.
Okay. Got it. So that's what you glean at this point with that. Veral, did you have a follow-up question, or is that what you were looking for?
If you're building a warp field to send sensors around something, that makes sense. Almost like a cloaking device.
All right. So you all end up in the court. I keep forgetting the name of the court. I'm going to have to write it down. What did you say again?
Spring ball.
Spring ball.
Thank you. Spring ball. Okay. Spring ball court.
Like
you all have your... Go ahead. Set up the scene for us, BC.
Sure. Let's pull all of the information that we know. It feels to me like we've established... we're pretty sure that, yes, they're hiding the contraband here. We have some pretty clear idea how. We don't yet really have a clear idea what's going on with some of these bridge people. So there's interesting things about them that lead us to believe that they might be more than just some Aberzan citizens. In fact, they don't even look like Aberzan citizens. They're more than humans. A, because they can detect the Betazoids' telepathy, and B, because at least one of them is somehow shielded from telepathic reading. So there's a little bit we don't really understand about that.
Yeah, and you said
and then
the technology had been suggested by a Deltan. And Deltans are psychic, are they not? So potentially...
Was he bald?
He was bald.
So you're right. Empathy is certainly a thing that Deltans have. Maybe there's some more. This is a particularly psionically gifted Deltan. Excellent insight. Yes.
I read that paper by the Deltan scientist.
Excellent. Okay, so then, what would we think is the Deltan's reason for helping out here? Like, do you think it's just a matter of, they happen to be bought into this particular cause, or is there something deeper going on here?
Funding their enterprise, maybe?
Maybe the pleasure ship isn't doing so well, and the rebels are going to pay.
I suppose. We also have the course correction. Feels like we're going to drop off this stuff somewhere other than ESA 5.
Is the Challenger, like, nearby that we can call in the cavalry if we need to? Like, are we just like investigating and then we'll report back, or are we trying to like catch them?
I'm going to allow the captain. I was wondering if anyone would ask that question eventually, and really see if the captain has planned this far ahead. Because, I mean, she does have starship tactics, right? And so no one mentioned it, so I'm going to make the difficulty a little harder on this one because it could have been an earlier mention. So I'm going to see this would be under control plus command and difficulty 3. If we have
2 momentum in the pool.
and basically, if she's wearing a Viridian patch or not.
Well, I would like to assert that I'm an original thinker. And, outside of the box is where I like to live. So I think that I've got, a couple of, tricks up my sleeve that have ensured that so first up, presumably this ship is going over a very known path. Even if we've just recently changed course, it should be easy to track. B, I'm going to argue that we probably have some mechanism to signal the Challenger. And yeah, I mean, I think that's straightforward. I think that the Challenger is probably going to be nearby enough to help out here.
Well, that's the difficulty. If you succeed with the difficulty 3, it becomes a trait that Challenger's nearby.
Sure. And since, I've got this great value there, this feels like a great opportunity to use my point of determination, which has changed.
Oh, as an original thinker.
Yes. Which has changed, I think,
I allow that.
In version 3. Or sorry, in version 2. Version 3 is the secret version with the 43-sided dice. Okay.
Correct. So you get so you've already considered as rolling a 1 because you're using determination. So that's 2 successes. So you still need to get 1 more success to make this trait that Challenger nearby.
You actually need to purchase the first dice. Yeah, you purchase your dice first, then you change one of them to a 1.
Wait, but if you're spending
determination, I start with 2 dice, right? If I use my determination, one of those 2 becomes a 1.
Yes, that's true. Yes, you can. You do not have to purchase dice. One of your 2 can.
Correct.
Yep.
And so now the real question here is, do I trust that my 16 or less? Oh, and do you think my starship tactics counts here?
Totally. Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna roll the die and see how it goes.
Yeah, I'm saying Starship Tactics applies because it would be hidden somewhere but nearby.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right, so I won't buy an additional die. I'll just there we go. Okay, 8. Bingo. Don't get 2 successes out of that, but I get 1 success, which is what I need. So between the point of determination and my 8, I managed to get 3 successes, which is what I need.
Very good. So you have to add that as a trait now, Challenger nearby. So if you can get a message out, then you could do what you need to do. All right. Anything else? Any other facts that you all should mull over before I proceed?
I suppose the interesting question is about the end game. So we can bring in the Challenger. Are we at a place now where since we're confident that we know that the contraband is here, does it make sense for us to drop our covers and take over the ship? Say, hey, we're Starfleet, we're commandeering. There are even other Starfleet officers on the ship that we could, cashier into our service.
Do we have enough evidence and information to do that yet? I mean, we know that there's some funky technology on the ship. We don't have evidence that the explosives are here, though. Not yet, anyway.
We have strong. I mean, we can see that they are concealing something using this warp technology. Does that not feel sufficient?
I don't think it would give us the greatest grounds for argument. without
Okay.
We need eyes on.
confirm.
Okay,
Yeah, confirmation.
I'll buy that.
Confirmation, yeah.
So then our next step is
Under
let's chase down the area of the ship that is being concealed.
Under the pool.
Okay. Eyes
How
on,
are you
and
gonna
then
go about
assuming
that?
that's good, we will drop cover and take over the ship.
Okay, and how are you going to go about that?
Recommendations, people?
Break open a hatch and crawl through.
You can only do that from the outside of the ship, though, probably.
I
Can
was
we-
thinking
can we-
go through a bulkhead.
As guests on board the ship, is there a means for us to pull up a schematic of the ship decks, at least to get a sense of what's on each deck and what activities are available and what's underneath the pool?
Yeah, underneath the pool, it's suggested as a cargo area on the schematics.
Okay.
Is there a transporter on the ship?
Question. I'm going to 1 to 10, yes. 11 through 20, no. And just to say, even if I do get a yes, transporting through a warp particle field would be impossible. Just so you know.
Yeah,
But
okay.
there is not a transporter on this ship.
Oh, darn. I'm a transporter chief. I'm so good at it.
Good question, though.
Could we maybe spend some momentum to create an advantage that one of us has brought cargo on board the ship and is in the cargo bay beneath the pool that we could go check on to make sure it's okay? Maybe some sort of I don't know, volatile cargo that needs to be temperature monitored or something.
Here's something you would know. If you use your tricorder to track down that cargo, you could identify it. It is not in the area beneath the pool where you're not getting any scans from.
Okay.
Well,
Okay, so go ahead.
my old friend, Nalanid
I like your
from
job, Nalanid.
yeah, from the academy is here, and we could always get an extra hand if we wanted to go directly against the ship's security. We don't have phasers on stun, but we can go hand to hand.
I'll let the captain now make a decision on the plan of action based off information. Indecision, and I will take action.
So, hand to hand just feels like it's putting us in that same place where we don't have the evidence. If it feels like the only working idea we've had so far is to get outside of the ship and access this area from outside of the ship. I think that's the course of action we should pursue. I've already done a spacewalk, so clearly I know where the exits are, and where they keep, spacesuits.
Who's going on this spacewalk?
Well, I have lots of zero-G maneuvers, so maybe, Jackson and I
Are planning on going? Okay.
I
And
definitely
then what
volunteer,
will Viral and Tenon do while you do that? Viral?
distraction duty.
Yeah, I mean, whatever the captain wants us to do, I've got nothing. I'm not sure how I can be helpful here.
Right. Let me move things ahead then. So spacewalking, we got two that are heading off for spacewalking. Tenon and Viral are kind of heading back. As you guys are heading out to do your spacewalk, the whole ship shudders. And as you look up, because you were walking across the promenade again, you guys are kind of separated into the pool deck area with the overhead. You all notice you're going into a nebula. You're actually moving into a nebula, and power starts to fluctuate. And some people are screaming, some of the chandeliers are swinging and stuff like that. There's some discord going on. And that is when Tenon, as you guys are kind of separated, Tenon was a little bit separated because you two are together, the captain and the engineer, and then Dr. Viral was moving off. all of a sudden, Tenon, the XO, the commanding officer, grabs you by the arm, and you're looking, and he says, "You need to come with me."
Wait, who is this? The first officer that
first
was on the bridge,
officer.
or the captain?
The first officer who was on the bridge.
Oh, okay. Well, what is the meaning of this? What's happening?
Okay, and just so you're aware, Viral, you spot this from kind of across the pool deck. A lot of people moving while this cacophony is going on, powers fluctuating in the thing. Is it, well, we have enough evidence to know you're in violation of our privacy policy. So we need to actually detain you and talk to you.
Well, then we should get down to the bottom of this immediately.
Exactly. Come with us.
I'll
And he starts
follow.
dragging you on. Okay.
Well, he
So
doesn't need to drag me. I think I will resist and say there is some decorum here, sir. I am happy to follow you. You don't need to manhandle me, sir.
okay. Viral, as you follow, do you signal the other two who are heading off for spacewalking, or do you do anything?
I'm gonna let them do their thing. I
Okay.
think their mission
Got it.
is more important than what's going on with us here.
Got it. So we're dragging that off. BC and the captain and engineer, as you're heading to the spacewalking thing, they're like, "I'm sorry, we can't allow anything to happen right now. We don't know what's happening, but there's some external things. There's no spacewalking that's going to be happening right now."
How many people are here?
At the deck for spacewalking, there's just one
Yeah.
person behind the desk who's saying no, there's not going to be any spacewalking. That was Lieutenant Speckler. Remember, he's like, "Sorry, right now the turbulence. We need to shut down activities, and we're advising people to go back to their quarters."
And is this a relatively isolated place? Like,
It's just a little lobby in front of the little spacewalking area.
okay, I think we take them out.
Okay, how do you go about doing that?
I'm gonna do the sort of I'm gonna give a hand signal to Jaxa, and then I'm gonna start talking to Speckler animatedly, keeping his attention on me. It's like, yesterday was life-changing, it was like going out into space and seeing all of that stuff. It was so amazing. I need to do it one more time.
Okay, roll a distraction for me. Just see if you get a successful distraction. Roll a presence plus security for me. Difficulty 2, because
Okay.
that's going to be a bonus. That would add a bonus for Jax's knockout or whatever he's doing. This will determine
Sure.
whether the person gets the opposed task or not.
Difficulty 2, presence security is mediocre. Can I take? We have 2 points of momentum, yes?
You do, yes.
Can I take one of the points of momentum
Go for
and get a third die? Hearing no objection, I'm going to go forward. Whee! Okay, so that is. I may not have succeeded. I have not succeeded, unfortunately. I have 1 success.
Okay, so this is an opposed task. I'm going to go ahead and roll it because there are 9 NPC. So it will be difficulty 1. You have to get Jackson in order to take this person out. They're an NPC, so 1 hit knocks them out if you could succeed. Difficulty 1, security plus... daring plus security.
All right, let's go for it. We got 1 momentum in the pool. 1 hit knocks them out. My target number is 11. I don't want them to put up get an alarm out, though, so momentum.
All right.
All right. Let's go. Oh, I'll take a picture of my 1-1-10.
No way.
Yeah.
So that's 5 successes and 4 momentum in the pool. Whoa.
Did I get 5? Yeah, I did. My target number is 11, 8 and 3.
Oh, describe this amazingness for us.
Jaxa is not that much of a fighter. He's just naturally sort of tough, and so he'll come over and try and do like a standard Starfleet security takedown and do this. Yeah, we'll do the double hand. And it's less about Jaxa doing it well as much as it is the person reacting and then slamming themselves into the desk.
Of course. Yeah, they hit the wall, then the desk, they hit the
Yeah.
ground. Exactly.
Jax is like, aha!
Okay, now he good knockout. What's your next action? What's your orders, Captain?
Let's continue on and get out.
Oh, you're going on the spacewalk. That's right. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's drag this person to a little hidey hole or something.
Okay, that's good.
Yep.
All right, Tenon, so we're cutting scene. Next scene, of course, you guys are going to be spacewalking. Tenon, what are you doing as you're getting dragged away by the first officer?
Well, I'm encouraging him not to drag me away since I'm going willingly.
Right. He's guiding hands. Guiding hands.
Guiding hands. There you go. I want to maintain some decorum of my station and stature, and I will, diplomatically and politely express my innocence. I've done nothing wrong. I don't understand why you're detaining me, et cetera, et cetera. Where's the captain? Let's get to the bottom of this, and I'm sure we can resolve any confusion on the part of the crew here, and continue on with the cruise.
Okay. While you're doing that, I'm going to roll for security, who's kind of, of course, the XO would have security kind of following and perusing, because we need to see if Dr. Varel can actually get past them to follow you into the brig area, wherever he's going to question you. So I'm rolling a 9, and they are 9 as NPCs, 9 plus 2, so they have to roll better than 11. Difficulty 1, Dr. Varel, to get around them. So this would be some daring plus security, I think, would be fair, in order to.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yep.
Do we have any momentum?
We have 4 momentum.
I will spend 1 momentum to get 1 dice. Target number is a 9, by the way. 17, 9, 3. I got 2.
Nice. So
enough?
you get that momentum back. Yep. You get that momentum. It was
awesome.
difficulty 1. So with the crowd and the flickering lights and the hubbub of you guys going into some sort of nebula, you're able to pursue. So you are still in the same area of the office where Tenon is being questioned. You could be considered like right outside the office. At that point, do you want to do any other action?
So there's nobody else around?
You are able to, outside the offices, there's ferns and stuff like that, and there's enough people kind of moving around and personnel that you are able to like kind of scoot and not be a threat to them with all the movement going around. But he's in an office where you can't see him, Tenon, right now.
Oh, he's already gone into an office. Okay. My plan was to try to...
Your thing was to get past security, get into the external lobby right outside the office area, basically.
All right. So I guess I'm going to kick down the door.
Okay.
So my hypo spray in hand.
Okay, the first officer turns around, so that your kick down the door is an automatic action. It is a major action to kick open the door. The XO is, of course, looking right away for the security button. And is going to try to hit that. Anyone going to try to stop him? You're closest to him, Tenon, and Dr. Varel is further away.
Does Varel have a weapon out, or is
I have the hypo spray that I was gonna give to that other guy that I didn't have to. It has the sedative in it.
Okay. Well, I mean, if I'm the closest, I would attempt to push the XO away from the security button.
Okay, so this will be considered an opposed task. So since this was his action to go for the button for security, you have to now roll a daring plus security, and whatever you succeed in with that, this is difficulty 0, becomes his difficulty in order to get that and touch that button.
11. And we're sitting on 4 momentum right now, so I think I'm going to spend 2 of that momentum to actually I need to spend 3 to get 2 dice, right? 1 and then 2 more. So I'll spend 3 of those momentum, unless anybody has a strenuous objection.
No, go for it.
Hearing none. All right, so I'm going to roll 4 dice. Target number is 11. All right, let's see. I've got I got 4 failures. 0 successes.
Yeah.
His difficulty is 0. His difficulty is 0.
The emergency button is pressed. We are under attack. Help at security
So
office. Hey, go ahead.
Wait, what was I setting the difficulty, or was I rolling against his
Oh
difficulty?
yeah, you're right. You're right. No, now that you set the difficulty of 0, I do have to roll for him. Hold on, I still need to roll. He might fail, so let's take a look. 11 and 16. He just got 1 success with the 11.
Oh.
So, and that was difficulty 1, so he actually generates a threat with it too. So that's now I'm back to 2 threat. Thank goodness. So he goes ahead. Bam, security alert. Now, amazingly, because Viral kicked down the door and that was his turn, Tenon, it's your turn again. What are you going to do now?
Is there any way to deactivate the security alert?
I mean, you could
No.
try.
Okay,
I mean,
then
you could
I
try.
guess
I
at
mean,
this point, I guess I'd want to try to restrain the first officer so that Viral can come in with the hypo.
Okay, a grapple maneuver then. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and roll and see what resistance he could do with that. He's again rolling for 11 as target number. 0. Difficulty 0 for this. So go ahead and roll. This is difficulty 0. Daring plus
security, right?
Security. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's 11. I'm not going to spend the momentum. And I've got a 3, so that's a success. But I did roll a complication.
Ooh, I'll keep that I'll just take that into my threat pool for 4. So I'll take threat pool to 4. Restrain now, Dr. Viral, your move.
I'm gonna hypo spray the exo with that sedative that I had packed up.
Awesome. Okay, that's automatic because he's successfully restrained and can't do anything. So exo goes down. What are your plans, Dr. Viral? You're the commanding officer in this.
Check them for weapons.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we'll definitely do that, but you can't deactivate the alarm.
Phaser. No, I would let the communications officer give it a try. I mean, it's been activated though, and so type 1 phaser. Who takes the phaser? Just so I know, who grabs the type 1 phaser?
I'd offer it to the doctor.
Okay.
All right. And so go ahead and try to deactivate the communication system. This will be difficulty 2, reason plus security, or control plus security.
Control plus security, so that's 14. You said difficulty 2?
Difficulty 2, and you have an applicable. You do have an applicable talent of deep space communications technology, or focus.
Oh,
sorry.
Does that fit here? Okay. I will take my chances and not spend. Yeah, I will not spend momentum.
Can I assist?
Yes, you can. Do you have?
I have a focus in computers.
Go for it.
Okay. Well, I appreciate the assist. Go for it. I did roll a 1 and a 13, so I've got 3 successes.
Oh, and I got 1 success.
Wow, 2 more momentum generated. So you're at 3 momentum now.
3 momentum now, and we were able to deactivate the security.
Mm-hmm. It's no longer blaring. Yes.
Okay.
Can we spend 2 momentum to create a trait to make it look like that was just a hiccup of the flickering power?
Definitely. So we're gonna call it palm malfunction.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Okay, so that brings us down to 1 momentum.
So the computers will report out that it was a malfunction due to the power surges.
There you go. Okay. So
And
now,
doctor, how long will this sedative work, doctor?
Like, we've got a good 45 minutes.
Okay.
all right.
Excellent.
So I'm going to need something. If we cut scene to the, and just so I know, where do you head to next? From here, where is Dr. Viral and Tenon? Where are you heading to next? What are you doing?
We're gonna go find the Delton.
Oh, Captain Argon. Okay, let's go search for Captain Argon.
Okay.
Cool. All right, outside the ship, in their new EVA suits. This is interesting because it is storming outside. You're in a nebula. Why this pleasure ship has decided to divert into the nebula is kind of like questionable in itself. So I need you both, because of this conditions outside to just give me a fitness plus security difficulty 1 to both of you successfully make it to that underhatch area, the underbelly of the ship. So go ahead and give me a fitness plus security difficulty 1.
We have 1 point of momentum. How does your fitness security look?
I'm good, and I have rolled, and I am successful.
Oh.
I will generate a momentum. Yeah,
It's just
Oh, you rolled 2 successes?
I did. I rolled 2 4s with a target number of 11.
Nice.
All right, I'll give it a go. I've got an 8 and an 18, so it looks like I've got 1 success.
Good. So what's our current momentum now?
I put it up to 2. Yeah.
There we go. Okay, so we're at 4 threat, 2 momentum. So you all successfully make it to that underbelly section of the ship. What's your plan?
Engineer, can you get through this?
I'll see what I can do, Commodore. And just start looking around for access areas that I can pull up panels and start trying to dig into the ship.
Okay, so what we'll have first, then we will go ahead and have Commander Zen remove a panel so that you still have a turn to see if you can dig into the ship, right? So removing the panel is going to need to be a control plus security difficulty 2. There is an external panel to this ship.
All right, I'm going to take a point of momentum if that's okay. Control security gives me 14. None of my focuses feel like they apply. That's a 4. That looks good. That's an 18. And that's an 18. Crap. I think I failed. I am sorry. I've not managed to get this panel out.
All right, Ben Jackson, this will cost you a little time in the game, but go ahead and roll it for yourself now.
Yeah.
So the backup plans that Tenon has will give us one momentum. So that brings us up to 2.
Oh, do you have to be in the same scene, or you could be anywhere?
No, anywhere. Just anytime an ally fails or fails a task.
Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing. Okay.
All right. You said that this was control.
And plus security.
Control security. Excellent. Okay. And we're still at difficulty 1.
I said this was difficulty 2.
Okay.
To open this panel.
I would like to spend a momentum as well, just to be sure.
Okay.
Okay. Here we go. Control security at difficulty 2. So I'm target number 13. I got a 9, an 11, and an 18. So that is our 2 successes.
All right. So boom, the panel, gets removed, slides back, and there's definitely a security control there if you're going to try to open these doors with some manual controls. But we need a cut scene because we have something else going on inside. So going out of the security office, across the pool deck, up a flight of stairs, standing up there is Captain Agron. And both Viral and Tenon see Captain Agron top, and he's kind of talking into a communicator. And he's what you would consider, kind of like a far distance away, within range of a phaser, but not within melee range.
Can we hear what he's saying?
Not from this distance, not with the noise going on, the sparks and people moving around and being ushered told to go to their quarters. There's a loudspeaker coming over everything, encouraging people to go to their quarters until you get through the spatial turbulence. You're the commanding officer, Dr. Viral.
We did not pay to go see Nebula, Captain.
Okay, so you approach, you get close enough for verbal, up the top of the steps. Okay. Why don't you go back to your quarters until we get this situation
drawn,
under
by
control?
The way. Step 1 phaser drawn.
Oh, interesting. Okay, let me roll on the solo RPG on the test to see if he has any officers nearby. 1 through 10, yes. There's a couple NPCs nearby. 11 through 20, they're not noticing this at this point with the hubbub. I rolled a 12. So you're close enough that anyone's that. So he's like, would you care to explain why you're drawing a weapon on the captain of this vessel?
Would you care to explain where you're taking us?
It was a slight course deviation. Our navigators are getting us back under control.
A slight deviation into one of the most dangerous places out in the cosmos?
What you're
Look what it's
doing
doing to your
right
ship.
now, the ship will be just fine. What you're doing right now is a violation of Federation law.
Do you provide services to people who pay you money? Or do you do what you want to do?
I don't understand the basis of your question. Are you accusing me of something?
I just want a refund.
You will get a refund. I suggest you put the phaser away, head back to your quarters, and we'll deal with this matter later.
I'll put my phaser away, but I'm not going to return to my quarters. Why don't you show me where we're going?
Okay, I'm going to see the opposed task if you can intimidate him into following suit. So this is going to be his presence. Let's see, this will be his presence plus command, which is a total of 13. He rolled 2. So if you succeed in difficulty 2 action, you will follow your guidance.
So I'm trying to
Your guiding
convince
hand
him,
to the
right?
phaser. Yeah, to follow what you want him to do.
So I'm going to assume that this is probably what? Presence and command.
Correct.
We have 2 momentum right now.
And that is also
we
correct.
We have 0 momentum.
0, sorry, because of the cutscene. Yeah.
Well then, this my character is a truth seeker, which is a value that I'm trying to find out what is actually happening here, trying to get the captain to spill the beans. So I will use my determination, being a truth seeker, to have a die that has already rolled a 1. I will give you 1 threat to buy an additional die.
Okay.
So I will roll those 2 dice and see what happens. 1 more success, so 3 successes total.
All right. So what are you ordering him to do?
Listen, we know that something's going on here, and I just expect. And at this point, like I start taking off my robes, button them down a little bit, and I'll even hold out my Starfleet communicator, and I guess they don't have communicators for the chest back then, but somehow show them that I'm a member of Starfleet, and
Yeah. I think ripping open your tunic and seeing the color there, the blue.
Yeah. So just come clean, and we can make this as easy as possible moving forward for you, and ensure that your pleasure barge is not impounded.
I guarantee you, I'm all about easy. I'm going to spin 2 threat. There's going to be a cutscene real quick, but 2 threat, because he says, I'm always about easy. And he kind of glares left and right, and 2 NPCs come. So I'm spending 2 threat to bring 2 minor NPCs into this scene, which will drop me to 3 threat, 0 moment. We're 0 moment. No, you have 1 momentum now, right?
Yes.
Okay. I think this is appropriate. As you see both Tenon, you're both standing there at the top of the steps, and these 2 characters come out of the crowd, and they're obviously, one of them is the navigator I mentioned before, the brown-skinned woman, and the other one is just another rando. Well, we'll just say one of the other crew members who comes, and they both have Type 1 phasers, and they're standing beyond melee distance, but not quite far distance as the crowd separates. Cut scene. Let's go back outside. Who wants to go first to try to get through this security lockout now that the panel's removed? Who's going to handle that task?
So, I'm going to give it a try. I'm going to make an assertion that Lynera Sill was a computer security specialist and dealt with all kinds of security systems. I'm going to use my joint talent to claim that I have a focus in security access systems. And I would like to make a roll. I'm going to give you a point of threat to get an extra die on this. And I'm going to say to Jaxa, I think I saw something like this back at the academy.
Okay,
Let
so
me
this is
take a
now.
stab.
Well, here's what I'm going to do. I got to set up a security system as an opposed task now at this point, breaking through this, right? So this is part of the new, which I really like about 2E. So I'm going to go ahead and spend three of my threat to get 2 additional dice. So I get to roll 4 dice on this. So this will take us. Yeah, I spent the 2. Oh, Jim just asked me, did I spend the 2 for the 2 NPCs? Yeah. So what does that take me down to? That takes me down to
Yeah.
I did, Jim, already.
Yeah.
So now I'm using my So now I'm using my final 3 threat in order to get these 2 dice. So it'll put me at 0 threat.
Okay.
And I'm going to roll to see the intensity to hack through this security system. Is that right, Meric?
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I had an extra one in because BC had added a threat, but that hasn't happened yet. Because we're setting the difficulty first, and then BC,
Right.
you're going to use your talent to add
Yes.
a threat. So right now we're at 0.
So I only have 3 threat.
Correct. And
Right.
you're
Okay.
spending
Good.
your
So
3.
I'm going to
We're
go ahead and
0,
roll
0.
this.
Huh.
So I got a 7, a 7, and a 12, and a 20, which gives you guys 2 momentum for that, right?
Woo.
So go ahead and add 2 momentum. So this is going to be difficulty 2, and difficulty 2 control plus security to get through this lockout and reveal what is under those in that cargo bay.
Can I throw out one more? Oh, let me see what I've got. Not sure that's necessarily going to help me. So, okay, so I'm going to try something here. So I used a point of determination earlier, but I'm a veteran. So I should theoretically have an opportunity to get that point of determination back. I forgot to do that. And I got an 11,
rating.
which happens to be my control. So I've got my point of determination back.
Correct.
I want to use my knowledge from a past host to help me out in this situation. So I want to assert that my value of living with a secret applies here.
Good job.
So that allows me to use one of my die to have already rolled a 1, which is cool. I don't know why it's so important that I actually have to physically do that. I'm just gonna
It's important.
that
I feel
over.
that. Yeah.
And then to get an extra die, is it 1 point of momentum that I use for that? Okay, great.
Yes.
So now I've got 2 successes already. Oh, but I'm only trying to get 2 successes. What am I doing?
Correct.
Well,
Well, you're trying to generate
do what I
momentum
can
at this point.
I know. And I've got great rolls here. So I've got a 3, which happens to work with my focus to get me 2 more successes, and I've got an 11, and it's control security. Is that true? Also,
Correct.
it's success. So I've got, I generated, I think, 3 extra momentum out of that.
Sure did. So you all are at 5 momentum now.
Awesome.
And
I pop it. I remember that course from the academy really well, I say.
Did you spent 1 to buy a die, right?
I did.
Okay, so I think we're
okay.
at 4 momentum. Yeah.
4 momentum. Good.
I must
So
have
the
forgotten to buy that.
So still moving at warp through this nebula, the 2 doors slide open, and the first thing that Raxa you notice is an energy field, a warp particle energy field at this point. And then, in canisters and secured inside the cargo bay is secured are definitely boxes that come from Starfleet.
Mm-hmm.
And they're behind
Is
a
it
warp
stolen
energy
from
field
Starfleet?
at this point. So originally, the explosive compounds were stolen from an Arbizon outpost 1 month ago. The Arbizons are members of the Federation.
Can I use my Boomfinder enhanced photo tricorder to snap a couple of pictures of evidence and pull some of the information through this warp? Yeah, and we'll have that to send off to the Challenger?
Oh, that's automatic. Yeah. So you want to take the pictures and send it off to the Challenger at the same time?
I mean,
Right,
I'll take
so I
the
wanna
pictures
have-
and say, Commodore, are we reporting this in? Are we good?
Okay, cool. Due to the nebula, I'm going to just have to make this a control. This is going to be for you a control plus science difficulty 1
Okay.
because of the nebulous conditions to see if you can get this out right now.
We've got so much momentum, I'll just spend one to make sure. If that's cool, people.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. We got 3 successes and an 18, so not a complication there. No, sorry, not 3 successes. 2 successes. I rolled a 3 and a 6.
Okay. So,
Unless my warp drive applies, then I might actually get... No, sorry, with science, nothing's gonna go. 2 successes.
okay, cool. So you got 1 momentum off of that. So when the minute you send off to your tricorder, you get ping back from the U.S.S. Challenger, and you hear, "That's what we needed." Captain, any orders?
Can't hear you.
You're
BC.
on mute.
Commander Thoravik, bring the Challenger in. We're taking control of the ship.
Back to, let's get this to the closing act here. Let's take 1 more momentum away from that pool, make that 3 momentum in there. And the situation is we have Dr. Viral and we have Ensign Tenon. This is one of his first missions ever. Captain Argon is standing, just beyond melee range because they had pulled a phaser on him. And to your left and to your right, flanking are 2 of his minor NPC characters. What do you do in this situation? Viral, you make the first call as the commanding officer. You're unaware at this point of what's going on outside the ship.
No. So I will also make it known to them that I am a member of Starfleet, and I will say your captain is not a great individual. He is transporting illegal supplies that were stolen from Starfleet, and we are about to reclaim those stolen goods. So I recommend you both back down.
Okay. I'm going to roll on the first one to determine if they are allied with the captain or not, because I had already planned, just so you all know, that 6 of his crew were actually in cahoots. All right, so we're going to determine if these are in cahoots. So the first person is in cahoots. The second person is in cahoots. So now we're going to have to do an opposed action, right, to see if you can actually intimidate them as Starfleet. So I'm going to go ahead and just roll that for both of them. It'll need a difficulty 1 from you, presence plus command Viral, to see if you can sway them. I think this should be easy. I have no threat. I feel so. I've never had this little threat in a game. I'm guaranteeing you guys. It's so funny.
I want to buy 2 extra dice with 3 momentum.
Okay.
That brings us to 0.
So I roll 4 total. And be like, if you all stand down, we can ensure you a fair trial, and maybe we'll keep your butts out of a penal colony. So I got an 18, a 5, a 3, and a 13. So it's 2 successes.
Okay. That gives you 1 momentum, right, for that.
Mhm.
Both of them look at the captain with uncertainty. Captain? Agron looks up, because remember you were on the pool deck at this point with that big glass window, and he's questioning it for a second, and then all of a sudden, warping in above, whoosh, the U.S.S. Challenger, he sees it right above them and engage the tractor beam, and the whole vessel, the Tranquil, shudders. Viral, Tenon, any final words? You didn't get a chance to say anything.
Yeah, no, I was ready to do something in case I needed to, but Viral had it well in hand. And I think when I see the Challenger warp in, I'll say, well, thank goodness Starfleet is here. Now maybe we can get a resolution to this. And Captain, you can guarantee that the Betas at Noble Houses you will hear from them. That's for sure. But
do you let him stay in character, Viral, or what do you do?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Cool. All right, wrap it up for me, folks. I'm going to let BC, you're the captain. So, what's the next closing scene here that we see as this episode wraps up?
Well, I feel like we have to. There was obviously an intention to come into this nebula, so I feel like we have to scan for possibly a rendezvous ship. I'll have the Challenger take that task.
Very good point. And you find the traditionalists, the Arbizon traditionalists, definitely had a small vessel in the facility. What they were planning to claim was navigational error. They were going to do the transfer of the goods by ejecting them out into space, where the other smaller ship would get them. So they were never actually going to go to Isa, which was kind of the throw off for Starfleet, they felt, because by the time they arrived there, they would have dropped the goods.
I'd love to see a scene with Lanier trying to teach us Domjot.
Good. All right. Anything else wrap up wise that you would see?
I guess one question I had was, and I may have missed this in the hubbub, but were we supposed to connect the dots? Was the Delton who was at Starfleet talking about the shield, was that actually Captain Argon?
It was not. However, he definitely is a Delton, and he was aware of the technology and had actually stolen the theoretical and used it for this ship to try to hide his contraband. So he was using this warp field to divert sensors.
Okay, that's the connection I missed. Okay, got it.
Correct. Yep. Cool.
I go drinking with my Starfleet buddy. With my
Alan hit.
Yeah.
I'm gonna gamble. I'm gonna gamble the last of my Quatloos away just because I can.
Well, you all get special commendation because, as you can imagine, not only did you successfully get the contraband discovered and get it returned back to the Arbizon government, but you did this with no loss of life and no damage. This is an amazing job, Captain.
I can't have done it with my crew.
Good job, team.
Good
All
job.
right, well, that was the first episode of the U.S.S. Challenger called the S.S. Tranquil. Jim, Meric, BC out. You made it completely fun, and I really enjoyed it. Just go around because we do gratitude, right, as continuing conversations. So I just say thank you to all of you for making this a totally enjoyable experience. Let's go Meric, BC, Al, and close it with Jim. Meric?
I mean, thank you for putting this together. This came together really quickly, and it was so exciting to get to play with you all for the first time in second edition. Mm-hmm. So, thank you.
Wow, I'm gonna sound like a broken record because I want to thank you all as well, but I'll specifically call it Meric because you're doing all this cool, production stuff for us, and that's really cool.
Amazing. Al.
All right, I've got one observation and then some gratitude. So I just want to point out to anyone who's still listening that that whole closing scene, Dr. Varal was doing all these presence and command checks with a target number of 9. So it just goes to show how you can do stuff that your character isn't specifically trained for in this game, and the rules allow you to do it. So go out there and try things. You don't have to be optimized to be good. So my thanks is to everyone who went out to Drive Through RPG and bought Sentience stuff this month. My sales have quadrupled in the last month of Sentience 2D20. So thank you. And if you are listening to this and you went out and you grabbed some of the stuff, that's awesome. I appreciate you.
And Sentience is as fun as this game. I'm telling you, I played it. It's wonderful with a pickup. All right, Jim, take us out.
Yeah, sure thing. One observation, just to build on what I was saying. We did this entire episode with little more than basic task resolution and spending momentum and threat. We didn't use any extended tasks, any challenges, etc. So that just shows you that you can have a full, fun episode of Star Trek without really getting too far into the weeds on the rules, right? You can use the just the basics and have a great time. So don't feel like you need to be intimidated by the complete rule set, right? You can ease into it and start drip feeding it to your players, and then players you can just start using the basics and just jump into it and have fun with it. So that's my one observation. And then gratitude to all of you for being here. This was a lot of fun. It's been a while since I've actually just been a player of STA, so I really got to enjoy that. Michael, of course, thank you for running it. You always got to give big gratitude to the Game Master for pulling it all together. So thank you for that. And of course, thank you to Nathan and to all the playtesters of First Edition and Second Edition for creating such a great game system. Right? I mean, this is a lot of fun. Really felt like Star Trek. It gave us a lot of moments of tension and fun, and that's always worth it. So thanks, Nathan. Thanks to all the playtesters and everybody who's worked on the game over the years. And finally, thanks to all the fans. Right? Without the fans supporting the game, sharing the game, teaching each other the game, we wouldn't be doing a second edition. So second edition, by and large, is thanks to all the fans for supporting us for the last 7 years. So thank you, everybody. Hope you enjoyed the episode. Hope you enjoy the quick start. If you get a chance to go download it and learn a little bit more about the characters that you saw in this episode, go check them out. Some great backstory that is built into there. That some of it came up in this session, and then some of it will come up hopefully in future sessions. So thanks, everybody. Really appreciate you.
All right, IDIC.
Live long and prosper. Be safe. Be well. We'll see you next time.